Imagine this. You've climbed the mountain. You've actually done the thing that millions of people say they want to do, but, never finish.
You wrote the book.
You wrote the book. It's finished. It's polished. The cover looks incredible. You upload it, you press publish, and you sit back, heart pounding, just waiting for the world to applaud. And then
the silence.
The deafening sound of absolutely nothing happening.
Exactly. Just crickets. Maybe your mom buys a copy because she loves you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your college roommate buys one out of guilt. But the rest of the world, they have no idea you even exist. It's like the writer's version of showing up to your own party and finding the room empty.
It is the classic nightmare. We talk so much about the craft of writing, but we rarely talk about that brutal psychological gap between the dream of publishing and the reality of selling.
And it is a jungle out there. If you go online right now and search how to sell my book, you are just going to drown in advice.
Oh, absolutely. You have to be on TikTok doing dances. You need a Substack. You need to master Amazon keyword bidding. It is completely overwhelming. But what actually works?
Not in theory, but in practice.
Right, in practice. That's what we're digging into today.
You are, and I'm excited about this one because we aren't looking at a masterclass from some marketing guru who's trying to sell you a $500 course.
Oh.
We are looking at a trench report.
A trench report. I like that. We have a specific data set to unpack. It comes from Vincent Lowry.
Yeah, Lowry is the real deal. He's the author of 8 books, including American Vineyard. But for us, the important thing is that he's been a moderator for almost 2 decades.
Runs a massive Goodreads group, right?
Over 50,000 members. So between 2023 and 2026, he went out and asked 186 authors a very simple, almost deceptively simple question. What worked for you?
I love that. No fluff, just show me the receipts.
Exactly. And the answers he got are messy. They're contradictory. They're full of people who are just frustrated and people who found this wild success in the absolute strangest places.
So our mission for this deep dive is to sift through all that noise, from the shouting into the void to bestseller status, and find the actual patterns.
What modern book marketing really looks like.
And let me tell you, looking at this data, the headline is a little bit deceptive. We have this top 20 list of marketing methods. And sure, social media is sitting right there at number 1.
Of course.
But if you actually read the stories, the anecdotes, the real story seems to be happening in the weird, niche, offline tactics that rank way lower but seem to hit so much harder.
That is the key insight. It's so easy to look at a bar chart and say, okay, everyone's on Facebook, I should be too. But when you look at the qualitative data, the picture gets so much more complex.
Okay, so let's start at the top of that leaderboard, the big one, the social media paradox.
It really is a paradox. In the survey, social media general is the #1 response. About 18.28% of authors cited it.
Right.
And then if you look down the list, Facebook specifically pops up again at number 19, with nearly 14% of authors mentioning it.
Which honestly surprises me. You hear so much chatter about how Facebook is, a dinosaur, or it's just for sharing photos of your grandkids. But for authors, it seems to still be a juggernaut.
It is, but you have to understand the why. The authors who said social media weren't just using it as a megaphone. They weren't just posting a picture of their book cover with a caption like, buy my book, $2.99 every single day.
Right, because that's the quickest way to get muted. Nobody wants to follow a billboard.
Exactly. The successful ones were doing something radically different. They were creating content that could stand on its own.
I saw one example in the notes that really stuck out to me. It's wildly creative. There's an author talking about using digital voices of A-list Hollywood actors for their audiobook samples.
Just to catch attention on social feeds.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the production value there. That isn't just a post. That's creating an asset. You're scrolling through your feed, bored, and suddenly you hear a voice that sounds like, I don't know, Morgan Freeman or Scarlett Johansson narrating a sci-fi epic.
You are definitely going to stop scrolling.
You're going to stop. It hooks you immediately. It signals quality, even if it's just a clever marketing gimmick.
Another strategy that seemed way more actionable for regular people was the TikTok formula. We saw Book Talk ranking at number 10.
Right.
But again, the success wasn't coming from random dancing videos.
No, and this is crucial for anyone listening who is terrified of TikTok. You do not have to dance. The successful author laid out a very specific formula. It was, if you liked famous thing X, you might like my book.
Oh, so like if you like The Hunger Games but wish it had more vampires, you should read my book.
Precisely. We call this contextual anchoring.
Contextual anchoring. Okay, break that down for us.
So if you're a new author, you're a risky purchase for me. I've never heard of you. I don't know if your writing is terrible. I don't know if I'm about to waste 5 hours of my life.
Mhm.
But if you tell me, if you liked the TV show Succession, you'll like my book about corporate espionage. You have anchored your unknown product to something I already know and love.
You're basically borrowing the trust I already have in Succession.
Exactly. You are lowering the risk for the reader. You're giving them a mental shortcut to immediately understand the vibe.
That makes a ton of sense. However, and this is a massive however that we have to address, for every one of those success stories, this survey is absolutely littered with people who are just exhausted.
The fatigue is palpable. It just jumps off the page. You have authors admitting that their posts only reach their existing friendship group.
Yeah.
They get 50 likes, but it's just their college roommates, their cousins, their neighbors. And that feels good to the ego, that little dopamine hit, but it doesn't translate to new sales.
There was that one quote that made me laugh that was also kind of tragic. An author said, "Blathering on social media, but I seem to have run out of blather."
I think every content creator on earth can relate to that. It is the content treadmill.
Hmm.
And the data backs that burnout up. You have authors saying social media produced a trickle or even zilch.
So while it's number one by volume of attempts, the satisfaction rate is incredibly volatile.
It really is.
Okay, so if the digital town square is just too crowded and everyone is screaming, where are the smart authors going? This brings us to what I'm calling the old school renaissance.
This was easily the biggest surprise in the data set for me. In a world that claims to be digital first, where we all live on our phones, we're seeing this massive swing back to analog face-to-face marketing.
The stats back this up. I mean, events, fairs, conventions ranked number 18, and word of mouth was number 16. But it felt like the authors discussing these were way more enthusiastic than the ones talking about Facebook ads.
There's just a different energy to those responses. It's because when you sell a book face-to-face, you aren't just processing a transaction. You're creating a reader.
You're making a connection.
You're shaking a hand, you're looking them in the eye. That connection is sticky in a way a Twitter impression will never, ever be.
Okay, we have to talk about the strike team.
Yeah.
This sounded like a military operation, but for books, it was my favorite tactic in the whole report.
It is a fascinating move. This came from a nonfiction author. Instead of just hoping for sales on launch day, they coordinated a strike team of 75 to 100 people.
Wow.
And the mission was simple. Go into specific independent bookstores during launch week and buy the book right off the shelf.
Okay, but why go to all that trouble? Why not just have them buy it on Amazon from their couch?
Because of a concept called algorithm velocity.
Algorithm velocity.
Yeah.
That sounds like something from The Matrix. What does that mean?
Basically, bookstores and bestseller lists don't just care about total sales, they care about speed. If you sell 100 books over the course of a year, nobody notices. The system doesn't even blink. But if you sell 100 books in 1 hour at specific reporting locations, you trigger the system.
You wake the beast.
You do. It signals to the bookstore's internal computers, hey, this title is hot. That encourages them to stock more copies, maybe put it on the front table by the door.
And that visibility creates more organic sales. It's a flywheel.
Exactly. So it's hacking the system, but using real human bodies to do it. It's coordinated, it's aggressive, and it's highly effective.
I also love the hyperlocal strategy. There was an author writing thrillers set in Wisconsin.
This is just brilliant in its simplicity. Instead of trying to market to the whole world, which is expensive and really hard, they focused entirely on their own backyard.
So what did they do?
They placed articles in local weekly newspapers about the action in your backyard.
That makes so much sense. If I see a headline in my local paper about a thriller set on the street I drive down every day, I am instantly interested.
It's geographic relevance. People love seeing themselves and their communities in print. And then this author focused on local indie booksellers in those same towns, gifting them author copies, and they built this whole local ecosystem.
Like the big fish in a small pond theory.
It is. It is so much easier to be a local celebrity in Wisconsin than to be a global celebrity on Amazon. And those local sales count just as much.
Speaking of niche, what about the author doing manufacturing conferences? That seems so dry, but the results were just wild.
That is a masterclass in knowing your value. This author wasn't just setting up a table near the bathroom. They were giving keynotes at manufacturing conferences.
And they noted a 40% conversion rate.
40%.
Wait, 40%. In the digital ad world, you're pumping champagne if you get 2%.
Right, 40% is unheard of, but it worked because the context was different. The audience wasn't there to be entertained. The book solved specific operational problems for them.
Ah, so they weren't buying a book.
They were buying a solution to a headache they had at work.
So the lesson is utility. If your book solves a problem, don't sell it as art, sell it as a hammer.
Precisely. Go to where the people have the nail.
Okay, so face-to-face is high effort but high reward.
Mm.
But let's talk about the thing everyone wants to work because it's scalable.
Yeah.
The pay-to-play game, ads and promos. This seemed like the most polarizing part of the survey.
Absolutely. When you get into paid advertising, the response is split right down the middle. It's like two different realities. You've got the Amazon ads crowd, which ranked number 13.
Yeah, some people were saying things like, sales are steady due to my Amazon ads, which run continuously. It sounds like a money printing machine. You put $1 in, you get $2 out.
But then literally the next response in the survey will be someone saying, I spent hundreds of hours for 0 sales, or that the ads just stopped working after a while.
Why the huge discrepancy? Is it just luck?
No, it's technical skill. Amazon ads are not a set-it-and-forget-it tool. It's an auction system. You have to bid on keywords. If you don't know how to optimize your cost per click versus your earnings, you can burn through $1,000 so fast.
And have nothing to show for it.
Exactly. It sounds like it requires a data-driven mindset that maybe a lot of artists just don't have.
It's a second job. You have to be a writer and a data analyst.
Mm.
And then there's the holy grail, BookBub. You're ranked number 4. For listeners who aren't in the publishing weeds, what exactly is BookBub?
So BookBub is essentially this massive email list. Millions of avid readers sign up to get alerts about discounted books and genres they like.
Okay.
If BookBub agrees to feature your book in their daily email, which is super competitive, they reject most people, you can sell thousands of copies in a single day. In the indie world, getting a featured deal is like winning the lottery.
But even winning the lottery has a catch, apparently.
It does. One author in the survey shared a really cautionary tale. They finally got a BookBub deal, but they were limited to international markets only. So UK, Canada, Australia, but not the USA.
And the result?
They called it a total waste of money. They were adamant that the USA market is the necessary target for indies to make back their investment. So even the gold standard can fail if the targeting is off.
What about the free strategy? I saw KDP free promotions ranked at number 12. The idea is you give the book away to get reviews and buzz, right?
That's the theory. You spark word of mouth. And for some, it worked. One author reported 2,000 downloads during a free period.
That's 2,000 people who now have your book on their Kindle.
It is, but does that turn into money, or do you just have 2,000 people who like free stuff?
That is the million-dollar question.
It is, and many authors said sales slowed to nearly nothing the moment the free period ended. You have to ask, are free seekers really the kind of fans who will pay $15 for your next paperback?
The data suggests probably not.
It's a gamble. You're hoping for this halo effect of reviews, but you often just get silence.
Everything feels like a gamble. But as I was reading through this, there was one area where the wins felt really consistent. And that was when authors stopped trying to sell to everyone and started selling to a very specific room of people.
The niche communities.
Yeah.
This is the aha moment of the entire data set for me. The generic expert advice is always go broad, cast a wide net. These survey results suggest the exact opposite. Go deep.
Let's look at the Christian poetry example. I mean, that seems like a tough sell. Poetry is hard enough. Religious poetry is even harder.
Extremely tough. You're not going to sell that on a billboard. But this author found success specifically by buying a promotion with a website called Faithful Reads. They didn't try to sell poetry to mystery readers.
They went to the one place where Christian poetry readers hang out.
Exactly.
And what about the divorce nonfiction book? This one really struck me because it felt so human.
This one is profound. The author didn't just run ads targeting divorced people. They went into a Reddit divorce support group. But here is the key, and if you are marketing anything, please listen to this. They didn't spam the link.
They didn't just drop a buy my book and leave.
No, they answered questions. They provided value. They helped people navigate their trauma right there in the comments section.
And because they were helpful, people naturally checked out their profile and bought the book.
Exactly. It's what I call servant marketing. You aren't pitching, you're serving. We saw it with the sci-fi author in the SFINCS Novella Championship. We saw it with romance authors using the Romance Studio.
It's like, stop trying to convince people to like your genre and just go find the people who already like it.
Precisely. Find the exact right room. If you're in the right room, you don't have to shout. You just have to whisper, and they'll hear you.
Now, before we wrap up, we do need to have a reality check, because reading through these 186 responses, it wasn't all high fives and conversion rates. There was a lot of pain in this document.
There was, and I think it's important we don't gloss over that. Vincent Lowry collected raw honesty here, not just the highlight reel.
Some of the quotes were really heavy. I wrote one down here. I think we've made every single mistake possible. Right now, nothing.
And another one that really highlights the vulnerability. I feel as though there are many scammers ready to steal an author's money.
Shouting into the void. That phrase came up multiple times.
It just validates that book marketing is hard. It's emotionally taxing. You're putting your soul, your art, out there, and often the market just shrugs. It can feel personal, even when it's just business.
So what's the takeaway? Is it just luck? Do you just roll the dice and hope?
I don't think it's just luck, but the survey definitely highlights that the difference between success and failure often isn't the quality of the book. It's persistence, and it's finding that one weird lever like the strike team or that specific Reddit thread or the local newspaper that works for you.
So if we look at the big picture, what have we learned from these 186 authors?
We've learned that there is no silver bullet. There is no magic button you can press on Amazon to make yourself a bestseller. The top 20 list suggests social media is king, but the stories behind the stats tell us that personal connection is the real driver.
Whether that's a handshake at a fair, a helpful comment on Reddit, or a newsletter, which ranked number 17, by the way.
Right. And look at number 16, word of mouth. That's the ultimate goal, but you can't buy word of mouth. You have to earn it, usually one reader at a time.
So for you listening, whether you're trying to sell a book or just understanding how this world works, the lesson seems to be authenticity beats algorithms.
I would agree, and I'll leave you with this thought. We're seeing a shift. Many authors in the survey are moving away from trying to hack the computers and are going back to human connection. If 186 authors proved anything, it's that friends and family are often the only sales that happen naturally. So perhaps the future of marketing isn't about reaching millions of strangers. Perhaps it's about turning strangers into friends before you ever try to sell them a book.
That is a powerful place to end it. Go make some friends, everyone. Thanks for diving in with us.